Hello there, my name's Museum Bookworm and I decided to do a little review on a book that I finished recently, which is The Salt Path by Raynor Winn. It was a Sunday Times bestseller, tale of triumph, of hope and despair, of love and everything. That was what Sunday Times said, and it was shortlisted for a Costa Book Award, also shortlisted for the Wainwright Golden Bear Book Prize. So this is basically the story of a couple who become homeless due to, probably the best way to say it is, a wrong decision, and they lose the home, and so they decide that they would go and do the 630-mile West Coast path. In the meantime, leading up to having to leave the home and becoming homeless that same week, the husband of Raynor, Mirth, her husband, and they've been married for 32 years, is diagnosed with a terminal illness. It's one that I believe to be, I want to say it's CBD, not sure exactly what it is, but it's sort of a degenerative disease. So it just says, days after Raynor Winn learned that Mirth, her husband of 32 years, was terminally ill, they lost their home, their livelihood. With nothing left and little time, they impulsively decide to walk 630 miles south-west coast path from Somerset to Dorset via Dover and Cornwall. Living wild and free at the mercy of the sea, sky, they discover a new liberating existence, but what will they find at the end of the journey? I really enjoyed it. Now, I would give this, out of 5, I would give it 4. It's not a favourite book. It took me a while to get into it, but I think that was because I was not in the reading mojo at the time. A bit, I'm not going to say how it concludes and what happens to them in the end. It's there, but what I will say is it's a struggle for them. You know, they're walking, I'm sure she's 50, if not 50, in the early 50s. Obviously trying to do this walk while he is not well. This illness affects his joints and he's in a lot of pain quite a lot of the time. They're trying to find places to sleep each night. They don't have the money to pay for campsites or bed and breakfasts or hotels. It talks about the people they encounter along the way, people who are backpacking, who are maybe just doing it for a couple of weeks, how they manage to feed themselves, because they're living on what I would believe is some form of benefit, some form of credit of some sort, and I'm not over positive about these sort of things, because every couple of weeks they can only go to the bank, and I'm not sure exactly the amount of money they get, but it's 40 something pound. It's not a lot, and they've got to live on that, buy gas for the gas bottle. They're carrying their home on the back in rucksacks, so they have to decide what to take, what would be the best, and no matter what, we know what it's like in this country with the weather. So sometimes it can be red hot, other times it rains, it pours down, doesn't it? It pours down. So living, coping with the elements of the weather, and finding places to camp where it doesn't cost them. So often having to camp in fields and get up early in the morning to be out. Also, so they've got no, toilet facilities, so it's not being able to wash your hair or have a bath or shower, not having any toiletries really with you. They have a gas little stove with them, so obviously they can make tea, but it's getting, where do you get water from when you haven't got money? Not just hot water, where do you get water to drink? So it's not only just finding food to eat, it's finding water to drink. And like I say, struggling with health, struggling with the mental health as well, because it's, I think they were very brave to do it, and it was a struggle. Very interesting, because obviously it talks about the areas they go through, and it is, like I say, the coastal path. So they talk about the scenery, and also she mentions about homelessness and how what we perceive to be homeless and what we think if we see somebody that's homeless. So, you know, that the fact that we always think of them maybe as thieves or drug addicts, just people on the street we walk past, we step over, but you don't know how they become homeless. They, you know, they're not necessarily addicts or alcoholics. They could be like these people who've just lost everything and they have no other choice. I believe they talk about at the beginning of the book the fact, even though they lost everything, not even being able to, they would maybe possibly be put on a council house list. So where do they live in the meantime? So it was a really interesting book, and a book I would recommend. I would give it 4 out of 5. It's not my, as I say, favourite book, but I really enjoyed it. I read it because I'd seen Big Hair Bookworm talk about it, and I was interested. You know, I wanted to know what's happening to them now, and how they, because this was written in 2018. She does talk about figures of homelessness in 2014, so I'm not exactly, does it say at the beginning what year? Let me have a look. I'm not sure whether she mentions. Can't remember if she mentions what year they started. Not over positive, but certainly, yeah, she mentions about figures of homelessness in 2014. So I think it's in recent years that they've done this. Obviously, she's gone on to write a book about it, and it was very interesting. And yeah, I would recommend that to people to read. So if you've just clicked on to see my review, thank you very much for doing that. Do decide to just subscribe my channel. As you can see, I am a very tiny little channel at the moment with not many. Well, I think I've probably 1 subscriber. I do have another channel which is more to do with beauty and boxes and things like that, but this is purely going to be my booktube channel. So please do subscribe my channel. I'd love to grow this little channel of mine. Comment down below, have you read the book? Is there anything else you would recommend I read? Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and press the notification button. You take care, and I'll see you very shortly, hopefully, for another video. There might be a bit sparse and we're not going to have a uploading schedule, but I will try. So you take care, and I'll see you shortly. Bye bye.